Hello and welcome to What the Hey. Thank you very much for joining me to learn the answer to a question that I received. And when I go to my notebook of knowledge, I see that the question is written as, who the hey is Terror Encabronado? And this question came from so many different people. So originally, I think this question came from Criticaja, I think is how you may or may not say your username. Either way, hello and thank you very much for the question. But there were other people like Otro Lokenderomas 2291, Soy Zerp, Jeff Darkman 55, Doctor 94, El Pajas Locas 5, Brian BPTO, in general, so many different usernames. It's like there was a whole list and I was like, it's gonna take forever to say them all. So I'll put all of the comments that I got about it on the screen. In general, thank you to all of you, and I'm excited to hopefully answer the question. So before going into anything else, if I had to give a basic answer or summary to this question, I would say that Terror Encabronado, which first and foremost, such a fun name to say, is a YouTube channel specifically from like Mexico, so it's Spanish. So if you don't know Spanish, you're gonna learn. But seriously, it's a Spanish YouTube channel that even like if you go to the channel description in the info section, it essentially says that it's based on telling stories. I would widen that and kind of broaden it also by saying it can be split up into different categories, whether that's, you know, actually telling stories. Like they tell a lot of creepypasta stuff, which is funny. They also do reviews. They do icebergs as well as like top, 10 whatever times I stub my toe video kind of things, like tier lists and stuff like that. So a lot of it is telling stories, I guess you could just say, in different ways. To kind of add on to the description and the answer, if you go to their Instagram account, like the main one, they do say, if you translate it or whatever, that they're the creator of the best laugh out loud crazy people, which I would kind of say is true, because a lot of the content on this channel, as I'll go on later to explain, is very satirical. It's very like random, like haha funny, super abrupt memes and noises and all of that kind of stuff. So it is crazy, but it's so fun. Speaking of social media stuff, outside of the primary YouTube channel, like I said, they have an Instagram. They also apparently have a WhatsApp, but when I clicked on the link, it didn't work. So I don't know about that. Anyways, so they have that. They have a few other YouTube channels. I think one of them has to do with like extra clips or whatever, or just extra content, but there's two of those. And then they also have a Twitter, so if you like Twitter. They have a music Instagram as well, and I think one of their YouTube channels is also kind of dedicated to their music. I think it's their own original music, and I actually listened to a few of like the audios and everything, and they're actually really good. I liked it. So if you also like music, those are there. Speaking of which, I'll have in the description the channel tagged, so if you want to check out their content for yourself, you can, so you can go down there and find them. But also if you just type in their name, you'll find them. Either way, that's there. Very briefly, I did want to mention some of the analytics, like the history and community behind the channel, just so you can kind of see where they've started and where they're at now, which they joined YouTube on December 28th of 2021. The channel has around 1.9 million views, around 47.5 thousand subscribers, and around 49 different videos. Now, what's interesting about the channel is the fact that it's technically not the original. That one was titled Críticas Encabronadas, I think, back in 2020. So I don't know if this current one was technically made brand new and that channel was made back in 2020, deleted, and then they did this one. But in general, this person has made like stuff before, but this is the current channel. Speaking of the main channel, very briefly, I did want to kind of go over the different options you can kind of look into with this channel, like the stuff you can kind of interact with, which one thing, which is quite literally one, would be the YouTube shorts that they have, because they literally only have one, as far as I'm aware, and that YouTube short is kind of basically similar to really any of their other content, because it's a YouTube short that's, short, and it's about like stories from some of their viewers on Discord. So if you kind of want to get like a glimpse of how the channel runs, that's a good example. However, if you're looking for something a little bit more specific, there are playlists that are offered. Like there's a personal favorites one, which I think is kind of funny because then you can see what the like creator of the channel really likes from their own stuff. So there's that one. I think there's an icebergs playlist, so if you want to watch those are cool. And then they also have a third world stories playlist, which I'm pretty sure the general concept is hearing stories from their viewers, which is funny that they call it third world stories, but that's what it essentially is. So some of those playlists, you know, not technically all of the content is listed there, but those are like specific categories. And then finally, another thing that they occasionally do would be community posts. A lot of those are just random memes, or it's them like commenting on another post or whatever. But then sometimes you do get genuine stuff of them like commenting on one of their other YouTube channels, like new content that they've posted. So if you kind of want to like to stay up to date that way, you can. They're not done all of the time, but they're pretty frequent. But a lot of it is memes, which is funny, but I don't always get them, but that's okay. Next on the list of things to talk about, I did briefly want to just kind of describe a few specific videos on this channel, like the oldest one, which was uploaded on December 28th of 2021, which was when the channel was made, so you know, very productive. Anyways, that one was a creepypasta video, which, you know, I think just shows that the channel has stayed pretty consistent, but you know, if you want to look at like their earliest work, there you go. The newest video on the channel is one that I believe when I was watching it and kind of just translating the title, it's a video about a story in which they were lost at some point, and that one was premiered on January 27th of 2025. So you know, they haven't uploaded in a bit, but that's okay. Sometimes content takes time. Anyways, so you know, that's another video where it's a story. And then the next video I wanted to bring up is the most popular, and that's a video that's dedicated to telling stories and stuff about school. And that one was uploaded on September 15th of 2023, and it has like around 113,000 views, which is impressive. But you know, more story content, so all fairly consistent. All of the videos are different with what the actual content is about, but the themes, I guess you could kind of say, like the genre of content is pretty, you know, it's pretty similar, which is cool. Which now I guess I'll start going into my like opinions and observations about the channel, which first and foremost, I thought it was cool because I got to learn that the text-to-speech that they use in their videos is apparently from a program called Locandero, I think is kind of how you say that, I don't know. Anyways, that's the like program that they use to actually like talk in their videos, and you know, like that's always funny, and it kind of adds humor to their videos because it doesn't necessarily sound monotone. But you know, interesting. I learned something about that. If I had to say what my favorite video is from this channel, I'd probably say it's the one that's titled like Top 6 veces que se cayó el Adán, I think is how you say that. And the main reason I find it funny is because like within the first 40 seconds, the way in which the content is formatted is so random. Like a lot of it makes no sense to me. Like a lot of Spanish channels that I watch, the editing in which they do their content is so convoluted and it's like very baked. Like it's very meme heavy and I don't know how they do it. It's very impressive. It's just like so much going on, but it's so funny. I like it.
Hola fotos de aire, como sabrán, el Adán es un personaje famoso de la serie de los cachondos de la selva.
Their creepypasta videos in general are also very funny to me. Like, a lot of the channel, I think, as I've said before, is satirical. Like, some of the stories, you know, you can, like, believe them if you want to, but a lot of, like, the statements that are made on the channel, none of it is really to be taken seriously, I guess, which is fun. Like, it's all very random, it's all very casual, and it's just like, okay, this is, like, a lot of chaos, but it's funny. And, you know, the creepypasta videos specifically basically the way in which they're done reminds me of like old school YouTube, because sometimes the intros are very grainy, or it's like, you know, the blue background and the white words or whatever. So I think I saw someone mention like this channel basically parodies old school YouTube or like old school creepypasta videos, you know, like .exe videos. So I appreciate that. Something else that I think is very unique about this channel is the car persona, or whatever you want to call it, that, you know, like represents the channel. I don't know what kind of car that is. Like, I do like whatever car that is that they have for their character, but sometimes the drawings for it, like, I'm not going to call them a PNG tuber because they're, I guess, not necessarily, like, it doesn't really move. It changes poses. But anyways, the fact that that's like their little character or whatever, I've never seen that before. So, you know, genuinely, it's very interesting, but also that's a very interesting persona. I really like it. As a genuine and general observation, a lot of their content is like under 10 minutes, or it's pretty close. Sometimes the videos are closer to like 30 minutes or whatever, but I think they're concise in a way that's effective. Like, a lot of the content is based on stories that are told from viewers, and then they'll like add in their own commentary to it, but it's like that can get kind of old pretty quick or whatever. So I think the fact that they have it fairly short for the most part is pretty cool. So if you don't have a lot of time to watch a video, that content is pretty easy to digest. Like, it's funny and it's quick, so pretty good. I think my favorite aspect about the topic of this video is the fact that, you know, a lot of people suggested that I learn and talk about them. That's so great. I was curious. I was like, I don't know who this is. But then, you know, what encouraged me further to do research on this topic is the fact that someone snitched about the fact that a picture of one of my videos showed up on their channel, and I think that's hilarious. You didn't think I would see that? I saw it. I found out. I see everything. So, you know, I thought that was, like, genuinely, that's hilarious. Like, I had to watch the video and I was like, I hope I didn't, you know, like, say something stupid or whatever, or I look stupid. But in general, so fun to see myself over there. So, you know, hello. But in general, so fun to learn about another channel that does genuinely make me laugh. Like, a lot of the content, I think I said already, is, like, baked. Like, if you watch the intros or whatever, it's loud music. It's, like, the title of the channel. It reminds me of a lot of like Minecraft channels where it's like the dubstep intros or whatever. Like, super funny, super good. So I'm glad I got the question, and hopefully, you know, I gave a somewhat decent answer. But once again, if you want to check the channel out for yourself, they'll be listed in the description. But I believe that is it. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.